talk to yourself often, you've probably been told it's strange, or maybe you've caught yourself doing it and wondered if something's wrong with you. But here's the truth that most people don't understand. Talking to yourself isn't a sign of loneliness or instability. It's actually a marker of some of the most valuable psychological qualities a person can have. Psychology shows that self-talk is linked to higher cognitive function, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving abilities. So if you find yourself having conversations in your own head, or even out loud when you think no one's listening, you're not alone, and you're definitely not broken. You're probably someone with these 5 rare qualities. The first quality is enhanced problem-solving ability. Research indicates that people who talk themselves through challenges are significantly better at finding solutions than those who remain silent. When you verbalize a problem, even just to yourself, you're forcing your brain to organize scattered thoughts into coherent language. This process activates different neural pathways and helps you see the issue from new angles. Think about it. When you're trying to figure something out, maybe you're walking through your apartment saying things like, "Okay, if I do this first, then that won't work. But if I approach it from here, that's not randomness. That's your mind using language as a tool to think more clearly." You're essentially becoming your own consultant, and that's a skill that serves you in every area of life, from work decisions to personal relationships. The second quality is stronger self-awareness. People who talk to themselves frequently have a more developed internal dialogue, and psychology shows this is directly connected to understanding your own emotions, motivations, and patterns. When you talk through your feelings, you're not just venting, you're processing. You might catch yourself saying, "Why did I react that way?" Or, "What am I really afraid of here?" These aren't just questions. They're acts of self-examination that most people never engage in. While others move through life on autopilot, you're constantly checking in with yourself, understanding your triggers, recognizing your growth. This kind of self-awareness is what separates people who repeat the same mistakes from people who actually evolve. And if you do this naturally, through self-talk, you have a built-in mechanism for personal growth that others have to work hard to develop. The third quality is better emotional regulation. Research in psychology has found that self-talk, especially when done in second or third person, helps people manage stress and anxiety more effectively. When you're overwhelmed and you hear yourself say, "You can handle this," or "This feeling will pass," you're not being delusional. You're activating a psychological distance that allows you to see your situation more objectively. It's the same reason a friend's advice often feels more credible than your own thoughts. By talking to yourself, you're creating that friend within you. Maybe you've done this before a difficult conversation, giving yourself a little pep talk in the mirror. Or maybe you do it when you're anxious, reminding yourself of what's real versus what's fear. Either way, you're using language to regulate your nervous system, and that's a form of emotional intelligence that many people never develop. The fourth quality is exceptional focus and concentration. Studies show that self-talk helps people stay on task and filter out distractions. When you verbalize what you're doing, whether it's, "Okay, finish this email, then move on to the next thing," or "Focus, just focus," you're giving your brain clear instructions. This is why athletes talk themselves through performances, and why surgeons narrate their procedures. Language creates structure in the chaos of competing thoughts. If you talk yourself through your day, your work, or your goals, you're someone who understands how to direct your attention intentionally. In a world full of distractions, that's not a small thing. While others get pulled in every direction, you have a built-in system for staying grounded in what matters. The fifth quality is deep independence and self-reliance. People who talk to themselves often have learned to be their own source of guidance, comfort, and motivation. Psychology shows that this kind of internal dialogue is common in people who've had to figure things out on their own, whether due to circumstances or personality. You don't wait for someone else to validate your thoughts or tell you what to do. You work through it yourself. Maybe you grew up in an environment where you couldn't rely on others for emotional support, or maybe you're just naturally introspective. Either way, you've developed the ability to be your own anchor, and while that might have felt lonely at times, it's also made you resilient. You know how to counsel yourself, encourage yourself, and problem solve without needing constant external input. That's not weakness. That's one of the strongest qualities a person can have. If you recognize yourself in these 5 qualities, understand this. Talking to yourself isn't something to hide or feel embarrassed about. It's a sign of a mind that's active, reflective, and deeply engaged with life. You're not talking to yourself because you're lonely. You're doing it because your brain is wired for depth, clarity, and growth. So the next time you catch yourself in conversation with your own thoughts, don't shut it down. Listen, because that voice is one of the most valuable resources you have. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more insights into the hidden strengths behind the traits that make you who you are. You're not strange, you're just more self-aware than most.